Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm your host, Jason Aiken. In this week's episode, I will be discussing Ignition City. It's an alternate history, science fiction comic book miniseries that was published in 2009 by Avatar Press. The 5-issue miniseries is written by Warren Ellis, illustrated by Gianluca Pagliarani, inked by Chris Dier, and colored by Digikore Studios. Besides single issues, the series is also available in trade paperback, hardcover, and digital formats. The series is set in 1956, in Ignition City, the last spaceport on Earth. It's located on an island along the equator. Pulp fans will be interested in the series due to the cast being analogues of the great science fiction characters of yesteryear. Analogues for Flash Gordon, Gail Arden, Dr. Hans Zarkov, and Ming the Merciless are present. There's also an analog for Buck Rogers. And one of the antagonists is wearing Commando Cody's rocket pack and helmet. There's a supporting character who is a former Lensman. There are also real-life characters, such as Lionel Kenneth Crabb, also known as Buster. I wasn't familiar with him, but according to Wikipedia, he was a British Royal Navy frogman who vanished on a mission while scouting out a Soviet destroyer in 1956. When first reading this, I thought his name was merely a nod to the famed American Olympic medalist and movie serial actor Buster Crabbe, who played Tarzan, Buck Rogers, and Flash Gordon. Also making an appearance is Yuri Gagarin, who in our timeline was the first human to journey into space in 1961. In Ignition City, however, he is the town drunkard. Despite many intergalactic adventures in the past, in this series, personal spaceflight is starting to become outlawed by governments all over the world. Ignition City is the final haven for the spacefaring heroes of the 30s and 40s. Think of Ignition City as Deadwood, but populated by classic science fiction characters, who all have their best years behind them. The star of the series is Mary Raven, the daughter of famed pilot Rock Raven, who seems to be based on British science fiction hero Dan Dare. Mary travels to Ignition City to investigate her father's recent death. She's a pilot herself and slings a mean ray gun. She's the point of view character you experience Ignition City through. I've always thought that introducing a new world or universe through a detective or mystery story was a good idea, and Ellis proves it with this book. As you get to explore Ignition City side by side with Mary, as she navigates her way through the people of the city and eventually solves the mystery. Avatar Press books are usually too gory for my taste, but I do enjoy a few books from them that are light on the gore, and Ignition City is one of them. I reread this last night for the episode, and I can only think of 2 scenes where someone gets on the wrong end of a ray gun that are kind of gory, but that's it. Other than this, this is Warren Ellis we're talking about, so there's plenty of surly language. This definitely isn't one for the kiddies. Ignition City has great artwork. The entire art team did a really good job on bringing it to life, as well as the characters who inhabit it. The art stays consistent throughout the book too. Whether it's the well put together leading lady or a rusted out rocket ship in the background, everyone really knocked it out of the park on this one. I threw in a handful of interior pages in this video, along with many of the gorgeous covers, so be sure to check those out to get a feel for the look of the series. I've heard Ignition City described as retro-punk, diesel-punk, and atomic punk. I'm not going to label it that myself because I'm not really sure what all of those mean, but I will say it's a damn good book. Fans of crossover fiction should get a kick out of it, and of course Warren Ellis fans too. If you like Planetary, I think you will like its surlier sibling. The only negative thing I could say towards this book is that more miniseries haven't been published. Don't get me wrong, on its own, Ignition City feels like a one-and-done cliffhanger serial, but there is so much potential for more stories. For instance, they barely touched on the alien elements within Ignition City. I would love to see more Martians, especially, as I enjoyed Mary's interaction with them during this miniseries. If any of this sounds up your alley, I will put links to the trade paperback, hardcover, and digital versions of Ignition City in the show notes. Thanks for watching. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and facebook.com/pulpcrazy. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/pulpcast. You can also email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching. I hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend, and I'll see you next time.